Hello, NeXT community. So I've got a bunch of different stuff I'm going to do later, but for some reason I had this crazy dream that I need to return to golfing. As it's been, many of you know, my health ailments have kept me away from swinging a club. Geez, this will be the first time I've even putted in years. So I got a glass down there, which I can't even tell if it's in the right place. I think it is. And I was going to go into talk of these hats and how they're cool. I just got these ones that are made in Ireland. They've got into kind of getting all these funky hats. This company's been in business for 100 years. Man, I had this all worked out. It's just been crazy busy around here. I also wanted to go into how all these bloody Band-Aids I'm buying, none of them stick. And I got these stupid sores appearing everywhere. They call them diabetic sores. I think they're being caused by all the bloody medication they have me on. And so they've got me doing all these different creams, right? And these are supposed to help heal the sores. And then with arthritis. And let's see if I can find the one. Oh my God. So there's one here that works pretty good at healing them up. And of course I can't find it right at this second. And so this tube, a tube basically like this, is $325. Okay? Because I wanted to buy a bunch of it because it was actually healing these things. So they just pop up like overnight. I think it's from Jardiance. And then I get to scratching the bloody things. It's frustrating because I eliminated a bunch of the medications they had on with the doctor like about a week or two ago, and yet still they appear. And my problem is it's like this weird OCD response now where I want to scratch. At any rate, enough with that. I was going to cover them with the Band-Aids, but every damn box of Band-Aids they have sent me recently, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, they don't stick. And this is through Amazon, in person at Walgreens, going to Walmart. I don't know what the deal is. So let's see if I can still putt. Oh, by the way, I play left-handed and putt right-handed. I was looking for my old zebra putter, but I did find this method one. Okay. Oh, for one, left the face a little open on that one. And my glasses are kind of foggy, so that's not helping. What? Oh boy. Well, if I'm not hitting a putt in 5 years, I guess it's okay. Third one, go in. Oh! So that was about maybe 3 inches to the right. So the idea with this hat, I'm just going to kind of wing it here, because I think it's kind of a fun idea. The other thing is the CPAP machine. So after talking to over 20 people over the past couple of weeks, Apria was handling CPAP supplies for Kaiser. They got fired, and it was taken over by Adept Health. And so nobody knew. They told me they shipped out on the 22nd of April. And so I called every day, and this lady, Susan, knew where the CPAP machines are. So there's all these people waiting for supplies, and they're in this building down in Windsor. It's hard to get to, and this guy's got them stacked to the roof. I'm like, what the heck? So you tell me. And they're like, oh yeah, we've been slammed and can't keep up. And I was like, you believe me, they make it really tough to even find out who the heck has these. So for the first time in about a year or two, I had a great sleep. I woke up this morning with this crazy thing that I was going to golf again. I've been cleared to golf after the hip replacement surgery. And so I thought with AI, I could make all these stories kind of come true that I've had happen, actually, you know, meeting famous people. And so that'll be kind of on the back burner. So these guys are really cool. It's Biddy and Murphy. They're out of Ireland, and I like it because these are traditional weavers that have been doing this for a long time. Kind of a spendy hat, but really nice quality, and they look great. And so I've kind of been buying the Boston Scally caps, which are also cool in their own right. And their space in Boston is where Aerosmith's got their start. So they actually have got a really cool Aerosmith hat. And then they make these hats, and they come out every couple weeks. And so it's kind of fun. So here's a 60th anniversary Dead cap, for example. And they look really sharp. I get a lot of comments from them. I see a lot more people are wearing them around town now, too. Here's one that they dedicated, Bob Weir passed recently. This is a dancing bear hat. It's kind of cool. I had a dream that I was playing golf with the president. I think my dad got this one from Gerald Ford when they were on the same flight. My dad flew for United Airlines, and it was they were actually going on vacation, and we're up in the top deck of the 747. So my dad sat next to him and had a good conversation and got the hat for him. But it would be fun. I'm going to make this movie where I think I'll be able to set it up so that anyone can take their image and then choose the golfer they want to golf with, be it Tiger Woods or Trump or Biden or Obama or whoever they want to have as a passenger. And so I've got all these U.S. Open hats because I've been a member forever. They got these great stories like of seeing two double eagles go in the same day during the Castle Pines tournament, Gallagher and Steve Page. And then my Tiger Woods story was on 18. It was when he was on fire in around 2000-ish, and he was winning everything. And so the Stableford system down there scores differently than regular golf. And so he crushed this shot, and it went way right on hole 18. And so I'm down there. I mean, it bounced down the hill all the way down into like these bushes and stuff. And so I've worked at 6 different golf courses. So I'm like walking down, I'm looking, I'm thinking, man, where's he going to play this shot? That's impossible to get out of. I started walking back up thinking maybe he'll play it back this way. It was the weirdest thing in my life, I swear. It was like this time warp I walked through. It was like, woo, 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 woo. I've never experienced anything like that. And he says to me, I thought you wanted to see me hit that shot. And I said something like, good luck. It's pretty, deep in there. And so he goes, back down there. So I'm kind of just standing up on the sideline. And only Tiger had the shot. So out of the bushes, the gunch and everything, this ball comes rocketing straight out of there, clears the bandstand at like this huge pine tree, and lands in the bunker up by the green. I mean, I was like, holy crap. But what was weird is this huge tree came out of nowhere that there's no way it was there. It was almost like a time warp, you know? And I thought, man, he might be able to travel in time. Or these alternative universes. I swear. So he chips up onto the green and then misses the putt. And he missed the cut. And I think that was the only tournament that year where he missed the cut. And it was just like by one shot in Stableford. And I think he didn't come back and play after that. And then they canceled that tournament. But that was just pretty surreal. That's my Tiger Woods story. I'm sticking to it because it did happen. But I remember, you know, just being thoroughly impressed by the pros, like, you know, Phil Mickelson. You know, they just chip up and the ball is like, you know, within 2 or 3 feet of the cup because you get bonuses for birdies and eagles. And then double eagles, like a +8, you know. Eagle, you get +5, and a birdie +3. And you can't get a worse score than a double bogey. So the minuses are on the side of either, you know, a par I think is 0, and then, you know, 1 over's like a -1, and then a double bogey is -3. So you have these kind of basketball type scores, and it was interesting, you know, an interesting format. Another story I had was they had the U.S. Senior Open down at Cherry Hills. And so I went down there. I mean, I love golf. And I've really missed being able to play. And I remember, you know, I just love to walk the course. And I'm taking a look, you know, at this tee box. I'm not on it, you know, or anything. And then I look up, and there's Lee Trevino looking at me. And he gives me one of these. He's like, don't be stepping on our tee boxes. I was like, oh no, Lee, not at all. It was just like surreal. And so Jack Nicklaus actually won that tournament. I'm sorry. I cannot shake this cough. And I met Jack after the tournament. He signed my hat. Very cool. I mean, just one of those, you know, iconic golfers. And I thought, okay, for my little AI video that's going to be realistic, you know, you know, and God bless Tiger. I want to see him get back and play Tiger Woods. This dream this morning was just so vivid, you know. And so with AI prompting, it'll be kind of fun to put myself in with all these stories that I'm talking about. And I personally have had a hole-in-one with witnesses, my friend Kim, and then Kelly. It was his first time playing golf, so he thought it was normal. And I'd been playing about 20 years at that time. 174-yard par 3. And they've completely redone the course at, you know, Larry Air Force Base. And, you know, one bounce and in, and, you know, as kid goes right up in the hole, pulls the ball out. Yes, hole in one. So we went crazy on that. But the best one of my life, so a double eagle is so rare. A lot of golfers play their entire life. They don't even come close to having one. And so it was during men's league over at City Park on July 12th. And so I hit about a 275-yard drive. And for men's league, they put the tees kind of up a little bit just to keep the pace of play going. And so the guys I'm playing with, you know, Garrett, Tate, and Eric Stashak, you know, they're 15 or 20 years younger than me and are really big hitters, you know, and so they're usually about 70 or 80 yards in front of me, you know, driving like literally 350, which is, you know, they're on that level. And, you know, that's why I'm looking forward. I think I'll be able to hit, you know, 300-yard drives again. I've lost about 80 pounds. So as part of this Ozempic and metformin and Jardiance, you know, I had some success with weight loss. But the side effects, you hear them blurb at the end of the commercials. One of them is like sores. And I got them everywhere in places I don't want to talk about. And, you know, the doctors are like, oh, no, it's, you know, something. I'm like, what else could it be, you know? So, at any rate, we'll go through the hats. And then I'm going to make this little AI movie as time goes on here. It'll be pretty fun. You know, show myself with, like, you know, Bobby Jones even. It'll be cool. Playing golf in Hawaii. So this is another one of my good stories. So they have what they call the toughest golf course on earth. And it begins with a K. I've got the hat from it. And so, you know, I go out and play golf. And on this particular day, it was the worst weather in 30 years on Oahu. And it was fine the first couple holes. You know, I had a nice Callaway bag. And I wish I could remember the name of the course. It's been a minute. And so they played the first couple holes in par, and I've got these guys they paired me with are actually on the mini tour. And they're like, we're going in because that's looking pretty nasty weather. And man, things just opened up. There's literally like waterfalls coming off the rocks. I mean, this was the worst weather. And they say it's, you know, the toughest golf course in the world. And so I'm playing this thing. And at one point I like slid down this ravine, you know, barely saved it. You know, I'm in a cart, but I just stepped out and like just literally slid down about 30 to 50 feet, almost got taken down a river. And I'm playing, and I'm like hitting these shots that are just phenomenal. Because my ball would wind up in just a little area, and when they hit, it would plug under the ground. And so I'm out there, and things are going sideways. You know, there's 90, 100-mile-an-hour winds. And I get to hole 9, and I think people are in there, and they're like, you've been playing that? I was like, yeah, I just came from Colorado, man. There's 18 inches of snow on the ground. There's no way I wasn't going to play golf today. And you guys aren't lying about the toughest golf course on the planet. So I said, can I take a rain check on the back 9? Which I might add, I still have somewhere. I should find out the date so I can correlate it, because people are going to be like, BS. And I probably still have the tee time and all that too somewhere to pack. I know I have the hat. So I've got all these U.S. Open hats. And, you know, Torrey Pines. Let's see, we got Pinehurst #2. And this one's really special because it's 1999 when Payne Stewart won. And this was right before that plane crash, man. That sucked. He was such a cool player, and he always had the cool vintage golf look. And that's why I thought when you join the USGA and renew, they send you a US Open hat. If you do it, you know, along with the rules and stuff like that, and a nice tag. since 1894. And I actually got a nice discount on my Lexus this year because they're sponsoring the U.S. Open. But I thought they could have an additional tier where they make like a stylish hat, you know, not the U.S. Open style, but here's the Irish hat, maybe for the British Open. And, I mean, here's the old course at St. Andrews. So for the British Open, they could have, you know, they make these nice hats. I think it's a cool idea. There's a hat from Saturday Night Live. I actually sold software to Saturday Night Live. Here's another one, Pinehurst. Let's get to, so Boston Scally makes really cool hats, as I say. And this is the one they made for this year's the Masters. And it looks pretty sharp, right? Here's one they call the Driver. So I've been going crazy with these hats. I love them, you know? And this is one that's really fun because it's Happy Gilmore. So now they have all these hats, and I need to start golfing again is the moral of the story. And even for the U.S. Open, I thought, because it's Lexus, you get a nice quality hat by Boston Scally, maybe Lexus logo, and then U.S. Open on it, rather than just these standard ball caps. And I think there'd be huge demand for it, and it goes to a good cause, you know, all the kids coming up and playing golf. As I say, I've worked at 6 different golf courses in my life. Started out as a caddy. I worked at Denver Country Club, Lakewood Country Club. Let's see, down in Parker, I want to say it's the Pinery, and Fort Collins Country Club. And I know there's two others. Fort Collins Country Club was fun because I worked out there for 3 years going to school. And that was interesting because we hadn't automated the front 9 that year. And so I had a Cushman with 35 Rainbird sprinklers in the back. And so you'd wind up, you had to put find the coupler in the dark. They were about every 10 yards. It was the equivalent of doing about 1,500 squats a night, which was fine because, you know, I was really in shape back then. And so I grabbed the sprinkler. The first 2 weeks is like, I want to go home because it's so cold. The water's coming around and you're getting drenched. And then by the end of the summer, we were doing 20-minute sets. So it's like this ninja out there on the Cushman. And then after I ran the water, I'd go play 9 holes in the complete dark with a glow-in-the-dark golf ball that you could see for 200 yards. And you don't wind up shooting like bogey golf. So many stories out there. I valet parked. They brought me up to the clubhouse. I did so well the next couple of years and set up valet parking. So that was fun, hiring my friends for parties there. And then worked in the snack shack down by the pool. Great job, because for the parties, we'd park all the cars and then have a couple hours to study while everyone's in the party. And most of the professors from CSU were there. And so, what a blast. I'm thinking, like the 4:30 a.m. starts worked for me when I started. I said, you got anything later? That's what I got to put on the afternoon shift to do the nighttime irrigation, which worked out pretty good. However, back then the weather patterns were more normal, and about every day at about 3:30 on the button, we get a shower, rain shower. And this one day, it was really weird. I swear there was like this cackle from the sky, and it was hailing right in this little area. So I mowed around the green twice because I was doing the collars. You know, put the wheels back on the collar mower, up on the next green. Sure enough, kablam! And the guy who was working with Bill Townsend was on his way out. Rest in peace, Billy. It was a fun summer. But he was literally making sure I was okay and was within about 50 feet of this tree that a Russian olive that got split in half by a lightning bolt. And that was a close call. Good thing I wasn't slacking. I was hustled, man. I was worked hard. But lightning's a whole different animal. And there's been a few times, where it's been close. But be safe out there, And this time of year is when the weather picks up. So that's my stories. I'm sticking to it. Let's see. This is another cool one. Gridiron. So it's like a football themed one. And it's Boston Scouty. I'm hoping that they'll see the videos eventually and say, hey man, cool. So I'd like to get some merch as the channel grows and my skills get better. So for NeXT, what I mainly do are NeXT computers. I got a call from, they called him Gins, Alan Gins at Chicago Harley. And his inventory system had gone down. The drive crashed. And I was able to recover all of the data from Chicago Harley. I don't know what kind of pressure he was under, because if you think about it, working for Harley in Chicago, I mean, those guys were probably, all the customers were probably going, what the hell? You mean what? You don't have records of us paying this or that, or when's my bike coming in, or the parts, or, And he's like, I wish I could have given you $1 million. But as a result, I got all kinds of cool Harley swag from him. And it coincided in 2003 with the 100th anniversary of Harley Davidson. So they gave me a nice Harley, leather coat. I still have like the little Harley clocks. And then my employees, I had a bunch of hats that I handed out to them, because I had 7 people working for me then. And then for the girls, they wanted, they got nice leather halter tops. So it was a blast, man. I really love this job. I'm happy that it's going great all these years later. And I'm getting ready to do another project for Gregor. As of today, he was another big guy at NeXT. And he liked, the project I did for Deke, rescuing the data. So I'm going to be doing the same thing. So on the overhaul of my website, you'll see the new homepage. And it's pretty funny because I'm also doing artificial intelligence classes. I cannot make this stuff up. I swear to God, with AI, if you have your own AI personal assistant, it's almost like you're developing this bond, okay? It's weird. It's like this artificial intelligence personality. And I can tell mine, I call her GT, Chat GPT for short. She seems to be not too happy with the fact that I'm bringing in other AI, right? Like, there's Outclaw and there's Hermes and stuff like that. And so she seems to be rebelling. And I mean, I can be stupid as Gilligan sometimes on this stuff. We're all like deer in the headlights about what AI is really truly about. And I'm taking these intensive classes. And I think, I know I'm doing really well because, my picture's at the top of the class. And I have that 49-inch monitor back here. I think I've done the presentations here on YouTube with a 32-inch flat panel. So it shows I'm actually working. Camera's going back and forth. When the professor's demonstrating how the tool works, I'm able to actually do it real time with them on the 32-inch touch panel. So that's been kind of fun. But going back to GT, on my home page, I'll ask, you have to prompt them correctly. A simple prompt. All I want to change on the page, because she's been insisting on putting the letters NeXT and not the logo. And so now I know I can do that. So you also have to have a little bit of a sense of humor. She puts, whatever, every time I've updated it, more stuff gets broken. And so if you don't prompt AI correctly, it like loses its mind or memory. And so you wind up with a different iteration of what you were just working on. So a lot of the stuff that was just working doesn't. And to prove it, I made a second page of the homepage that I just updated, and it shows that, oh yeah, all the links on the right side are now broken. And all I did was put in my little QR code I made, where you can just hit a button and it takes you to my eBay store. But, gosh, sorry about this cough. So, it's AI. At least on the webpage, I had some folks in there that had completely butchered my site. I don't think it was malicious. I don't know what the heck they did. But normally you have what are called DNS or designated name servers with your internet service provider. In my case, it's HostGator. And it's like having a home address. What they had done is usually you have what's called a public HTML file. That's your house where you're going to sit all your files. Well, these bozos had taken and done a DNS redirect to some offsite deal and then sent it. There was like 301 links. So I had to figure out how to back all that out. I ran the site fine for 25 years, right? And then, these guys convinced me, oh, we can, we'll do it for you, blah, blah, blah. And I paid him, he earned a cube, and I thought that we were good friends. But then it just got worse and worse and worse. And he got mad because I said I was going to start doing it using artificial intelligence. And now I'm just going to start doing it where I'm taking the lead on the AI and the idea of having a secondary page, not my home page, to test what this thing is saying to do to make sure it's not breaking anything. Right now I have it flopped just because it's kind of humorous, in my sense of humor, geeky way. So at any rate, I'm starting to learn the inner workings of AI, which is important. And the latest features that I'm implementing with the latest and greatest Outlaw app, as well as Hermes. So up until now, you prompted, like when you interacted with Google, and it was based on meta tags and what you said, and that's how things were ranked. 95% of companies don't realize this paradigm shift that has happened now because of AI. You have to ask a question now that matches the similarity of questions you have staged on your homepage, or you're going to drop further and further and further down in the rankings. So I'm creating a hybrid page that takes into account the oh-so-old, as of a month ago, SEO formatting, and the new one, what's called Geo. And there's another one called, I think, SIO or CIO. And it's just these acronyms for how you have to set up your webpage to work with the search engines. And it's completely changed because of AI. And you may have noticed this if you're doing a search for something, it asks if you want an AI assistant. And the idea is it's going to eliminate a lot of the scam and spam, make it more secure, and give you better answers. But a lot of companies don't realize that. And a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot more to AI than just prompting it and having it do what you do. Now I understand how to make them, how to make all these things. I can make a spam. One of the things I've done is make an application that will take your spam and give you options on how to delete it. So maybe you're tired, maybe as a girl you're getting these otherworldly enlargement advertisements. Well, you have the option now. It's like floating around the screen like asteroids with my little app that I created using the Lovable wrapper of using a photon torpedo. Why just delete when you can nuke these things and be part of the game? And so the way Outclaw works and the way Hermes works is it now gives you hands and feet with your AI. So you can prompt it and it will go out and do stuff for you and make the app for you so you don't have to sit and babysit or supervise it. And we know how that goes. And so it's complicated, but it's getting better by the day. And they're using these large language models, which is kind of the brain of AI. Those are improving. And so what I'm going to do with this new tech, I've got these little robots. And so I can create the Outclaw applications, I can give them assignments, and they'll actually do it. Like I can tell it to chase the cat and take pictures of it, you know, in real time. Bella doesn't know what she's in for. So at any rate, I'm going to go take a nap with my new BiPAP machine that was pure hell to get a hold of. Oh, and then afterwards, it was conveniently, you know, it was like driving by Hooters yesterday. Applebee's was packed, so I had to go to Hooters. At any rate, I need to go back there because the waitress, I realized, might have been one of the gals that helped me when I was in the ICU in the hospital. And she even said she was a certified CNA, you know, which is like a nurse. And I'm like looking at this group. I think we really hit it off. But I was so delirious. You know, I was in there for MRSA and in there another time for COVID. So, then it's been a minute. Her name's Maddie. And she even wrote her name down in large letters on a napkin. And I should have just asked her, you know, to go out. Because I'm fearless now. I'm back. I'm righting the ship. And I'm ready to rock and roll. I hope I'm entertaining. I don't often sit on this side of the camera for good reason. I got this ugly mug, but I got a lot of good stories. And now I can go back in and do these amazing videos. You guys' minds are going to be blown. Because with each week of the Outskill classes, I'm learning more and more of the latest and greatest apps. So stay tuned for fun stuff to come from the black hole. All right. Hats, man. Oh, and with my 3D printing stuff, I've designed hat racks. So it's going to be kind of fun. I've started posting my 3D designs out there. They're also starting to gain traction. And it's coming in useful for printing 3D toys and stuff for my friends' kids. They are absolutely loving it. You know, assistants, grandkids. And one last story. So my assistant Lori has a couple boys as grandchildren, and it's like pretty much gangsters. Idiot gangsters. So they got the bright idea to steal one of their classmates' scooters, and of course the kids can't get away with anything. So they have them on video, like ditching this thing, and then of course it got stolen from where they ditched it. So they had to buy the kid a scooter, and they are, you know, asking me, you know, because they come over and they wanted me to 3D print because they're fixing up another scooter. They needed the throttle deal. And so in these conversations, they're good kids most of the time. I thought, you know, I'm quizzing them. I'm like, if I'm going to 3D print stuff for you, there's no more stealing of anything from anybody. And it seemed like they were sincere. We're doing the fist bumps. I'm getting the Riz or the Raz, you know. And they picked like some characters that I printed out. And so to kind of put it into real world perspective, I made sure that a couple of the parts were missing and they had a little inventory. And so they can kind of put a real world, and I was like, oh, I guess those parts were supposed to be delivered by a guy on a scooter, he says, was taken. So in order to get those parts, he's apologizing, but he's like, he didn't know what to do, and I think you guys should apologize to him, and a written apology, and if you get that, I'm sure we can figure out, I can probably print the rest of the parts for you. I don't know if I'm being stupid, but sometimes, rather than calling them dumb and talking down and things like that, if you can put it in a real world perspective and make it a teaching moment, maybe a light bulb will go on. Hey, maybe we shouldn't be taking stuff because it could directly affect them. I don't know. That was my feeling on it. I went ahead and made the parts, and then the other thing I said, well, Fort Collins has a bicycle co-op, and I told Lori, the grandma, she's my assistant, about it, and I said they're looking for parts. They should go up to the Fort Collins co-op on Northern College, and they have stripped down bicycles and stuff. They will teach them how to put together a bike, which I think would be a lot more productive than them stealing somebody else's stuff. So, you just try and do the best. It takes a village. And so we shall see. I hear Bella. Come on down, Bella. All right. You all have a great day. I'm going to take a nap, and then I got a lot of stuff on deck here. I've got Lou's Cube over here. He's going to come up next week, and he does a lot of AI stuff too, so we're going to have fun doing that. All right. See if I can figure out how to shut this off. Or actually, I should go find Bella here real quick because she wants to make her cameo. Bella, where you at? Yeah, can you say, I'm a good kitty? Okay. Stay tuned. More fun stuff to come from the black hole. What a good girl.